Hey, it's Dr. Nellie Kangwa again. Welcome. Today it's a powerful topic because we are talking about money issues. The topic is wealth mindset conversations. We're going to just have some conversation around wealth. So where are we going to start from? I'm going to hit this topic from maybe about five topics. I'll see if I can, we can handle all those, five subtopics from the wealth mindset conversations. So first and foremost, it matters what you define wealth to be. Some people talk about wealth with regards to having money, how much money they have in their account. Some people talk about wealth, about their wholeness, like, everything is okay. I'm content as long as I've got a house, I've got a car, my kids can go to school. I think I'm okay with that definition. Some people may look at wealth, the moment they receive Christ as their Lord and Savior, they feel they are wealthy because the moment they've stepped into Christ, they feel that's it. The other things will sort themselves out, and if they've got that peace of mind, they are wealthy. So it matters how you actually define what wealth means to you and what it is. But I'm going to bring out certain things that will help you to position yourself in order for you to tap into your wealth, mindset. And so the first point I want to talk about is wealth limiting beliefs. You need to understand that as much as you may want or desire, to have so much money or to have a comfortable house, to have, a good business, it matters your belief system. So let me break down a little bit so that we can follow this properly. So a man, a human being, not man as in, being a male, but just a human being. So I'll be using man, but I want you to understand that I'm actually addressing a human being. Is made up of three. It's a spirit, soul, and body. Okay, spirit, soul, and body. And the spirit is actually coming from the higher source. Okay, we all have the higher source that we actually come from. Whether you believe it or not, whether you don't believe in God, there is a higher source, and our higher source is God. And in his lovely book, somewhere the author paints a picture there and says, he made us in his image and in his likeness. The image of God is the very position that we have, in him. It's like we are connected, from his power source. And so we are carrying his mandate here on earth. So it's that position that we have. And then the likeness is the creative functionality, that creative power that resides inside of us. Now let's deal with the soul. The soul is the second component, which has got the mind, emotions, and the will. As you know, the will is, I call it the sovereignty of man, because not even God can influence your will. Okay, not even God can actually influence what it is that you need to decide to do. Now, your mind, okay, that is where things matter, because when it comes to your spirit, it is sorted. It's the image and the likeness, and we are made from this higher source, God, for us to execute our assignment here on earth. But then your mind has got different, levels of influence. It begins first and foremost from the very environment that you grew up from. The environment based on, the people that were around you when you were born, they've got, a very, very high influence to what happens to you. Because some researchers have actually been saying 97% of what you do, is influenced by your unconscious mind. So that unconscious mind taps into the things that are so subtle, seated right into your unconscious mind. I don't like calling it subconscious. I like the word unconscious, because then it gives it a better position. So I would love to use the unconscious mind. And so how you are growing up, the environment, that you're growing up from, will measure to the way you define wealth. Okay, the people that were in your life, how did they speak about wealth? So let me give you an example. I grew up in a pastor's house, so you know that majority of the time I'm in church. This is how wealth was introduced to me. And I want you to understand from that perspective. So we're going to run from how I understood wealth to what it is that, began to influence my life until I realized to say, look, something isn't going right here. So would go to Sunday school, and our lovely teacher would be teaching about, the kingdom of God. So I remember vividly, even up to now, that is why the unconscious mind is so powerful, because she got, a very nice picture with a camel. And then there was another picture with a needle. And then she looked at us. I remember, I think I was 4 or 5, and she was like, you know what? It is so difficult for you to enter the kingdom of God, to enter heaven, just as it is difficult for this camel to enter into a needle. So she showed us, can you see the hole of a needle? And so in our little minds, we're like, yeah, we can see. So can this camel enter into this needle? This is how difficult it is when you've got money to actually go to heaven. So in my little mind, I did not want money because everything about me was to go to heaven. Okay, so that was the kind of teachings that we were receiving. And then she went on to say, money is a root of all evil. Every evil thing you see, the reason why you have all these thieves that steal because they are looking for money. And so for me, money was associated to bad things. That was my little mind. Money was associated to bad things. Money told me I cannot enter the kingdom if I have money. So I did not desire to have money when I was growing up, because for me, heaven is what mattered. She put another picture of hell with little fingers, coming out, and, people gnashing their teeth and they are crying. And she said, do you know what? When you go to hell, you'll be feeling pain continuously. Do you see that pain, or do you feel that pain? For example, if you touch the brazier or you touch something that is hot, that is nothing. That is like 0.1. If you do not receive Christ, and if you become rich and you turn away from God, or whatever she was talking about, may God bless her. She tried her level best. But my mind was so messed up, because when I looked at hell, and how she compared, people who, failed to go to heaven. And one of the reasons you failed to go to heaven was when you've got money. That is how she put it. And so for me, money was equal to hell. So keep your money. Me, I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go and gnash my teeth. So I'm growing up like that. There's another thing that was going on. These are limiting beliefs. You need to revisit your own limiting beliefs, because you're wondering how that you're doing so much. You are putting in so much. You are working so hard, and you are doing affirmations. You've woken up in the morning. I am rich. I am what? Let me tell you, 95% is influenced by your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind carries so much energy that causes the universe to respond. So your unconscious mind is so powerful. Here is another picture. I can't remember how old I was. I could have been maybe 12 or 13. There was a man who owned a store, a shop where we used to buy, groceries, some bread and everything. His daughter was about to cross the road at 8 years, and she was bashed by a car, and she died on the spot. Look, this is what happened. The whole community, instead of sympathizing with this man who had lost the daughter, everybody said this man is a witch. Now, let me tell you, we go to church, they were praying against this man because he was a Satanist. So every person who owned a bar, who owned a store, who was seemingly a little wealthy, was a suspect witch. This is my upbringing. This is where I'm growing up from. And so, this is what they started saying. The little girl, he's the one who actually cleans the shelves because he has put the little girl in the shop. This is why, things sell a lot. Can't you see how clean his shop is? So when we all stop going there at midnight, this girl comes to put things in order. No, this was serious. In my little mind, I was even scared because when we go into that store, I'm scared maybe I'm going to see little Lulu. She was Lumbi, something like that. Little Lulu. I'm going to see her because some people would say, oh, they have actually met Lulu in that shop. Because every person who had some little money was a suspect, which people, I remember this vividly, who even prayed against that bloodshed, how this man can kill his own child. Even during a burial, there was so much talk that he's a witch. So most of the people, listen to me, most of the people that actually had some supermarket or had owned a bar or something, they were suspects. They were witches. So do I want to own a business? No, because to actually make it in life, from the way I was brought up, you needed to kill somebody. That is how my mind was fed, my unconscious mind. So these are the only two examples I can give to you, but there are several examples I can give to you. How many limiting beliefs do you have in your mind? Some of you have since forgotten. You've moved on because you went to school and you think you've all gone. No. I'll tell you how you deal with, those limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs alienated money against my mind. So as much as I wanted money, I think when I grew up, I just wanted a little, just a bit, so that I can at least have a car, a house, and just a few things that I'm just comfortable, because I don't want to miss heaven for anything. This is in my unconscious mind. So even when, I've grown up, the way I was talking about money, I was reservedly, using the words. I did not want to talk so much about money. Least, I mess up. Least I miss heaven. It took so long for me to come head-on collision to start liking money, because now I like money but I will tell you how I moved from these limiting beliefs. So I needed to give you this example because I would love you to do the same. Even now, I would love you to close your eyes and I want you to think through things that happened in your environment when you were growing up. How was money defined to you? How was the first time you came across money? What was spoken? Because the law of first things matters most. Many of you are where you are today because of these limiting beliefs. Some of you, the limiting beliefs have been to do with your educational system. I went to school and all I was told, listen to me, all I was told is study hard. My dad, I remember very well, when you finish what you're doing, you finish cleaning the place, go and study. Because when you study hard, you go to university, then your life will be comfortable. I remember this vividly. My dad always pointed at a certain lady called Auntie Mabel. May her soul rest in peace. Says, if you want to change your life, if you want to live a better life, you need to be like Auntie Mabel. Auntie Mabel was a lovely lady, beautiful. She was a secretary. My mind was capped. Everything I was thinking about was to be like Auntie Mabel because around that area where I grew up from, Auntie Mabel was wealthy as a secretary for a woman. So she was my, she was my standard. Okay. And so by the window, Auntie Mabel would be, would come out of the house with a little flask, going for work, and I'm peeping by the window. I want to be like Auntie Mabel. Because that is how this whole thing was introduced to me. Go to school, study hard, and work. There was nothing like, oh, you can still do something about your life. It was all to go to school. It was a limiting belief. Without even you knowing, going to school is very good and it's powerful. I love school. This is why I've done up to doctorate. I'm pursuing up. I want professorship. But let me tell you something. There are many times when school can be so lovely and so good, but it can actually limit your progress if you're not careful. Because I'm coming to another point, which is inherent gift. But for now, let me talk about the limiting beliefs. So that is a limiting belief to tell you you can only make it When you finish school, you get your degree and work. It's a limiting belief. You may not even know, but it's actually a limiting belief. This is why some people with some paper called a degree, they cannot do some of the things with their inherent gifts because they are ashamed. Oh, I'm a university graduate, so I can't do some of these things. Yet there are some people who have some technical things embedded inside of them that are making a lot of money, more than the person with a paper called a degree. And so this is a limiting belief. Can you for a moment revisit in your mind and look out for some limiting beliefs that can cause you to actually not even get to the space where you begin to express yourself? What limiting beliefs have caused you to be where you are in terms of wealth or your success? Your success story has been shortcutted, or you are failing to break through because of the limiting beliefs. This is why you have to do some unlearning. I started revisiting my childhood, and I started refusing to believe that statement that money is a root of all evil. No, the love of money. It is when you crave for money, you make money to be your God. You make money to rule you. It's a medium of exchange. But the introduction that I had to it was so against what I wanted when I had now grown up. After 20 years, I wanted money. But you know what? I did not change the state of my mind. And I didn't know that actually the energies inside of me were actually making me not to access, because the universe only responds to what it is that is inside of you. Again, in this powerful book, the author says, the earth awaits the manifestation of the sons of God. The earth is groaning. The earth is crying, waiting for the signs to manifest themselves. The manifestation has to do with the inside of you, with your belief systems, with how you've expanded your mind for you to actually partake of what the earth has. And one of which is mining. You know, the minerals are still crying. The minerals are hiding because they haven't yet revealed themselves, because they are so scared to land into wrong hands. Meanwhile, you're busy praying, demons this, demons that, instead of us living that kingdom life. And so the wealth limiting beliefs are very important to deal with. Were you introduced to owning a mine when you were young? Well, not me. Where I grew up from, mines were for, like whites. Yeah, some whites who needed to own mines. And then, the black person must just work underground. We never, at any point, at least where I grew up from, I was never introduced, or nobody actually, even in school, I remember, there was no curriculum, there was no topic that taught me I could own a mine. There was nothing. So for some of you, it's still alien. It is still so strange to think that you can even own a mine. Worse still if you're a woman. But yet, you love the rings, You love them, but you want to buy them so expensive. But do you know where this ring came from? Because somebody owns some mine. Wealth limiting beliefs are so dangerous. They've made Africa to be where she is today because we have got too much that we've been taught. And you're wondering why you're failing to push through and get that which you're looking for, because these limiting beliefs need to be dealt with. And by the way, and please pardon me, not even Papa can lay hands on your limiting beliefs for you to actually come out. So you can sit shouting, I receive. For fire, I receive. Sorry. Limiting beliefs don't go by falling down. Limiting beliefs don't go by you, crying out and doing all the drama in church. Limiting beliefs needs to be walked into. You need to face them. You need to address them. You need to go back. So I had to go back into my childhood. I revisited this girl, Nellie, at 4, at 5, and I started speaking to her. Listen, Nellie, money is not evil. Listen, Nellie, you having money does not mean you won't enter the kingdom. After all, for you to reach out, for you to go to China and minister the gospel, for you to go to Turkey to minister the gospel, you don't fly by tongues. You will need an air ticket. So Nellie, come on, wake up from your slumber. Whatever it is that you believed isn't true. She tried. May God bless her soul. The teacher tried. But let me tell you something. Damped my spirit to an extent where I so believed what was going on. But yet, how do you even, spread the gospel if there's no money? How do you spread the gospel if you don't have money for the air ticket? And so those were things I said addressing this little girl to unlearn some of the things. I had to, to address this little girl to start understanding. Thank God for education. But let me tell you, it should not limit you, Nellie. The fact that you were told that you need to go back, you need to be in school and get the distinctions and get your degrees, get your masters. This is what will only make you to succeed. I've begun to tell her to say, thank God for education. But that's not the final thing. That's not just what defines who you are. There are several things. And that gets me to the second point. That second point has to do with inherent gift versus wealth, because it still follows through. Your inherent gift is very, very important for you to work with because you were born with it. Each of us, each of you, as you watch me right now on this channel, you will understand that you have something to offer. You have something to offer. And that is why when you add more value to this inherent gift, when you add skill, when you add expertise to this inherent gift, it begins to shine. And then just imagine when you place your inherent gift under education. Your education is your foundation, and you bring now your inherent gift and you begin to enhance your inherent gift, because this is something that is embedded inside of you and only you. It's a blueprint for your success. It's your inherent gift. It is the blueprint for who you should be. It's a blueprint for what you should become. It's a blueprint for what you will do even when you are 70. It's your inherent gift. And school can actually enhance it. That is why school is important, because when you add value to inherent gift, when you add skill to inherent gift, oh my God, people will be looking forward to pay for it. People will be waiting to actually pay you for what you were born with inside of you. That's what education does. So what is your inherent gift? How can you identify what you were born with? You will identify that this is something that you did not learn anywhere, that no teacher taught you. For example, again, I will give an example because I know Nellie better than anybody. So when I was young, I found myself always volunteering. I remember, this is a joke, okay? This is a joke. So, because I'm tall. So when we were starting school, where I was growing up from, it was, our parents wouldn't remember the age and, how old we were. So we needed to, to touch our ear, for the teacher to determine that you are 7 years old. So if you can touch your ear, and then they will know that you are 7 years old. So poor friends of mine were short. They couldn't reach their ear and they were denied. So as we were going back home, says, oh, this one has been denied. The other one has been denied. I'll tell you inherent gift, how you can identify. I don't know where I got an idea. Okay. I don't know where I got an idea that I could actually make my friends to start school, because some of them were even older than me, but because they were short. So I told them, I said, you know what? I can wear your jersey. Okay. I can wear your jersey and I can say my name is Abigail. So can I wear your jersey? And so I would get Abigail's jersey and I go to the teacher. My name is Abigail Tembo. And I go like that and I've passed. So Abigail enrolled grade 1. Meanwhile, Abigail initially was denied. But an initiative for me to say, I made actually 5 friends of mine. This I remember very well. 5 short friends of mine started school because of me. I need to remember those ones. They need to pay me. They need to pay me because it was initiative. So I'm just 7 years old. Where am I getting that initiative? And then another thing happens. I just wanted to sit in front. And then somehow my dad told me to say, you know what? Your friends, okay, because one day I went home, I was crying, like my friends were telling me that I'm too tall for a girl and I was obstructing them. My dad shook me and just told me to say, Nellie, you are tall because you are a leader. Of course, it's not really, really true, but I so believed, watch this. When this statement was told to me, I believed I was a leader. So I had to sit in front. Watch this, what was happening. The teacher never asked anybody in class to carry her books, to rub the board or whatever. I kept on volunteering. I always wanted to be in front, and when the teacher finished teaching, I would quickly leap out of my desk, go and rub the board, escort the teacher with the books, and always volunteered. Who wants to do this? Who wants to supervise the friends? Who wants to be a captain? My hand was up. Even when we entered a new class, my hand would be up. Teacher, me. And the teacher would be like, yes, Nellie. When you are choosing captains, I want you to know I'm the captain. I said, no, we are not yet choosing captains. I said, I just want you to know, if in case you be choosing, the day you be choosing, just know I'm the captain. I always volunteered. Now, you may think, oh, this girl is too much. Come on. There's something that is cooking in this girl. Something is happening. And how I wish some teacher would have picked that I was not just an excited girl. There was some leadership, natural leadership that, was inside of me. I remember one teacher touched one of the girls, breasts, like playing with her breasts. And she shared with us. This friend of mine wanted to keep it amongst ourselves. You have no idea I caused commotion. I went to report that teacher, yet it's not me, it's not my breast because I didn't even have any breast. That teacher did not touch my breast, but guess what? I made we needed to go to the headmaster's, office to go and complain about this teacher. Why was he touching the breast? My friend was so scared, the one whose breasts were touched. Me, I feared nobody. I just wanted the teacher to be under punishment because another friend had mentioned that same teacher. That's some leadership. Oh, she likes talking too much. No. It's not liking talking too much. It is because I inherent gift. She must talk. She must speak. She has that inherent gift inside of her. Talk about debate. You cannot miss Nellie on the debate queue. Talk about who wants to give the vote of thanks. I don't want to know even what has been spoken. If they just say, who can say a vote of thanks? My hand will be up, then I'll be asking for what? And when would this be happening? I didn't even know what was going on. My hand would be up because I just want to speak. I just want to talk. I remember I was leader in the scripture union. I came up with different things and creative things. We need to do poems, during parade time. And every time I wanted to lead. Every time I volunteered to lead. Isn't that inherent? Who taught me leadership? Of course, now skill has been added to it. I'm a better leader today than I used to. I had too much zeal. And sometimes too much zeal, your leadership is actually not needed. Now I've grown. But you know what? Because it was not really properly nurtured in school. There was no curriculum that had to do with inherent gifts or identifying children who had something that they needed to offer. There was nothing like that. So your inherent gift is something that you need to take to another level. You don't learn from anybody. It is just natural. And guess what? Every time I volunteered, every time I did what was so easy for me to do, I was excited. So it gives you so much joy. Actually, one of my partners, my business partner, Dr. Akanimo Odam, says these points very powerfully. I think he's got about 7 points that helps you to understand your inherent gift, and how that you need to know that this is something I was born with. When you do